And all these talks of negotiations are happening as the United States continues to build up the military in the Middle East. Over the weekend, we already reported that 2,500 Marines were being deployed, 3 more extra warships. We're now hearing that the 82nd Airborne Division, this is an elite force of parachuters, of paratroopers that are involved in special operations that had the capacity of being deployed anywhere in the world in just 24 hours, are also being deployed to the Middle East. So certainly there's lots of talks about what these units are going to be doing, and the speculation is that they could be involved in an operation in Harb Island, which has been referred as Donald Trump as the jewel of the crown, mostly because around 90% of Iran's exports are coming from there. So this buildup, this military buildup that is ongoing, certainly shows that the United States is trying to negotiate while at the same time increasing the pressure on Iran. But aside from all these strong words, aside from, what we're seeing, these talks of winning the war, of this victory message, everyone here knows that the situation in Iran is extremely difficult, that Iran continues to control the Strait of Hormuz, that the Strait of Hormuz has a direct influence on the price of oil, and the Iranians know, and the United States knows also, that the price of oil can be decisive in the midterm elections that are going to be happening later on this year. And of course, it will have a direct impact on the Trump administration.
That's Teresa Boat with the view from Washington. Let's get the view now from Tehran. Now, earlier, Iran's state TV outlined 5 specific conditions in which Iran would agree to end the war. Now, these include a complete halt to aggression and assassinations by the enemy, the establishment of concrete mechanisms to ensure the war is not reimposed on the Islamic Republic, and guaranteed and clearly defined payment of war damages and reparations, the conclusion of the war across all fronts, and for all resistance groups to be involved throughout the region, and international recognition and guarantees regarding Iran's sovereignty sovereign right to exercise authority over the Strait of Hormuz. Let's go straight to Mohammed Val, who's in Tehran for us. Now, Araghchi has been very clear. No talks, and that's despite Iranian state TV outlining what talks might look like.
Well, that's right. The Iranian leaders, including the foreign minister, are saying that until now they are not at the stage of talks. What is happening is an exchange of messages through intermediaries. And this is not called negotiations or talks, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there will be that stage anyway. The Iranians are saying that they're not eager for negotiations because they don't trust the other side. And whatever offers or suggestions come from the other side, they consider them just bluffs. Until now, they don't see that level of engagement and that level of seriousness on the other side, because they have seen the experience of the war of June 12 days, and also the war in February. And until now, they, particularly with regards to those 15 points, for them, this is a proof that the Americans are not serious, because there is no way Iran will accept those 15 points. Iran has its own also demands that you have just enumerated, and they're not also ready to compromise on those 5 demands. So until now, we are just at the stage of pre-talks movement by intermediaries, and the Iranians are saying that they are studying whatever suggestions come to them. And the situation is difficult also in Iran for negotiators because of the chasing of the leaders, the assassination of the leaders, and the Pakistanis are saying that it is difficult even for them sometimes, or most of the time, to reach the right people in Iran. So it takes time, and it is a very difficult process. But as I said, the foreign minister is very clear that Iran is not budging and is not intending to compromise on those 5 demands if and when it comes to the negotiation table. So it's going to take time, and at the time being, it's just war. They are relying on their military might, and they think that it is the only guarantor of Iran's sovereignty, and that's why you have seen, and we are seeing wave after wave of strikes against Israel and other targets across the region.
That's Mohammed Val live for us there from Tehran. Now, let's take a look at all of the latest US troop deployments. The amphibious assault ship, a USS Tripoli, is leaving Taiwan and is scheduled to arrive in the Middle East later this week. The US vessel is carrying the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit with its complement of F-35 stealth jets and about 2,300 Marines. Another assault ship, the USS Boxer, left Southern California last week, along with accompanying warships. It's expected to arrive in the region by mid-April with around 2,200 Marines from the 11th Expeditionary Unit and 2,000 paratroopers from the